y'all? We're back here with Unfiltered with Liz. Thanks for joining in. Today we're going to talk about just normal shit. We're going to talk about normal fucking shit. And I am going to be solo today. The person who's going to come on my podcast, she's actually sick, so send her positive vibes. And I wanted to answer some of the main questions I get. I actually went on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I asked you guys to submit some questions that I would answer, so I'm going to do that. The number one question I get is, do I have an OF? And the answer is yes. Yeah, I've had an OF since 2021, and that's when life changed for me. I was in a very different type of era of my life, I guess you could say. I was married. I was not happy where I was. I was going down a path that I didn't want to continue to go down, so I took a different route. I joined social media. I wasn't allowed to be on social media for a very long time. So sorry about the chair. So when I finally got on social media and I started posting, I started getting noticed. Well, that turned into people asking me if I had an OF, and at that time I didn't even know what an OF was. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna look this up because everybody keeps asking me for it. I go to look it up and I'm like, oh, no, I don't have one of those. Should I have one of those? So I created one of those. In my first month, I made $30K. I'm not even lying. I made $30K. I made more my first month than I ever did in my entire year of working at the jobs that I've worked at. Because I always just brought in maybe $29, $30K a year working at the factory, working at the other places that I worked at. So this was a big change for me. I immediately quit my job. Immediately. Called up my boss, was like, hey, so, you know how I told you I was going to do that thing? Well, I did that thing. You can find me at Liz Did a Thing on that thing. And I quit. I moved on with life. I stopped working my ass off for pennies. I stopped. And at the time I was married, and he was about it. He was all for it. He was for it. When he seen the money I was making, girl, let me tell you, he was about it. Yep. Life was going good for a while until I started, to have that real life conversation with him, and I was like, look, we need to sit down and we need to talk about the future because we're making this money. We want to grow, right? And he's like, yeah. Well, he was using a lot of the money to buy games, and he was into Call of Duty and stuff like that. So, which I support because I'm a gamer too. I like playing games, but I'm not addicted. Well, he was addicted. We ended up sitting down one night and having a conversation that turned into a major argument, and that major argument turned into us splitting up. Because I was saving money for a house. It was going to be our first big house that we ever bought together. So I was excited about it and I wanted to save money for it. Well, I had put money back. I had a couple grand put back. And I go back to check it, and because I was going to add more money to it. And it was gone. I was gone. I was so heartbroken. So I brought that up to him, and it was just a really big argument. And that's when we both decided that, my wants in life are different from his wants in life, so it was time for us to move on. Which was a big deal, because we were with each other for 10 years. But, yeah. And my next biggest question is, where do I come from? I come from the Midwest. I'm not going to exactly tell you guys where, because I have to keep personal information to myself. I've dealt with stalkers and crazy shit like that, to the point where I've had to completely go ghost one year. It was horrible. But I'm from the Midwest. We have all 4 seasons. Winter can get very, very harsh. Summer's my favorite. I like spring too. More towards the end of spring. I don't like the cold, but I like the end of spring where it's getting really warm. And I did grow up in a city, and I did not grow up in a good area part of the city. I grew up in a really rough part of the city. I do come from foster care, So, I was adopted by my great granny. I did have a really rough childhood, and I don't want to keep like talking about it, but I keep getting asked questions about my past. Well, like I said, I had a rough childhood. I was in and out of foster care. Grammy adopted me, but when Grammy adopted me, I was still pretty, a wild child. Well, I was in high school at that time, and this is when I got expelled from all the schools here. Yeah, expelled. Well, I was in, I think it was history class, to be exact. But I was in class, we had just finished up cheer, and we had our uniforms on. They're cute, but they have shorts, and I had like a hoodie on, and I had my purse and my book bag, and my phone. Well, my history teacher just thought it would be okay to come up to me and just, bro, do you know who, like, I'm crazy. Don't do that. I grew up with very bad parents, like, from foster care. You touch me the wrong way, I am automatically going to go into my shell and freak the fuck out. So that's what I did. I freaked out. He touched my leg, and I soccer punched him in his face. Gave him a bloody nose, and he dropped down to the floor. Security came. All the students in the classroom were so scared to speak up. And that's not me. Like, that's not me at all. I'm that bitch who would be like, yeah, I did that. I sure the fuck did. And you want to know why? Because that pervert over there did this, this, and this. And they didn't believe me. So then they put me in handcuffs, and they took me down to the office. And when I got to the office, Mr. Steele, which was the principal at the time, he was a little pervert himself, because once the doors were shut and the handcuffs were off me and I was sitting in front of his desk in his chair, he was like, "It's okay, Liz, we can take care of this." No, the fuck we can't. As a matter of fact, it's not going to go down like that. I ended up, I'm going to tell you guys how bad I am. How bad I used to be. So I was like, as a matter of fact, it's like that. And he was like, "It's like that." I was like, "Yeah, it's like that." And I soccer punched him in his face as well. And then here come the security guards, bust him back in. And then my granny's running down the hallway, because I done had my homegirl call my granny, because I didn't know who else to call. So granny's running down the hall, and she's screaming, "Let her go, let her go." So they ended up putting me in the car, and they took me down to the police station, and my granny came up there, rose hell. We ended up taking the school system to court. I settled for a deal that I would be expelled from all the public schools. Keyword public. I would be expelled from all the public schools in exchange for both of those teachers being, fired and their license revoked. And then the history teacher, he had to spend some time in jail. So, yeah, that's how my high school experience was. After a horrible life at home, I still had to deal with it at school, so I didn't get no breaks. And then after that, Granny and me worked really hard on getting my education, because I couldn't go to any school in my area. And it sucked, because I was like smack dab in the city. I was surrounded by 4 different schools, and like I couldn't go to any of them. So that was that. I ended up getting online though, and Granny helped me study. We actually hired some people to help me tutor, because I had to catch up a lot. I had spent a lot of time out. So yeah, finished online, got all that good stuff figured out. Yeah, that's how that went. So another question I get is, what type of content do I put out? And I put out a whole bunch of solo content. I'm talking like I have over 550 videos that I could send you if you are subscribed. I have over, I think, 4,000 pictures that are posted. So as soon as you hit that subscribe button, they're there. There's some videos on there too. So I hope that answers your question. Another big question I get is, am I interested in dating anyone? I want to date someone, I just don't want to get hurt again, if that makes sense. So, I mean, there's a part of me who wants to get out there, who is, like, craving that. But then there's a part of me who's just like, whoop, put that wall up, block, shelter, it ain't happening. You know? I don't know. Another really big question I get is, do I ever leave the house? And the answer is yes, I do. I just don't record me leaving the house because I don't want my location being exposed. Like I said, I went through a really bad part of life with a stalker, and I spent a lot of time scared. Still kind of scared. So I leave the house, but I don't record myself. I don't record my car. I'm a very private person when it comes to my surroundings and the backgrounds of my videos and photos. Like, I will take a video outside, but you're only going to see, like, the sky and the bricks or trees. You're not going to see an exact location. I've had stalkers, and it's scary. So I'm very cautious. But yeah, don't get me wrong, I want to do like videos in my car because I love my car. It has like LED lights and it's really, 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 really nice. Especially, it's a big ass come up for me. It's probably not as nice as all these other creators' cars because it's not like $100,000 car, but it is a $50,000 car. So, and it's mine, all mine. But I do have some restrictions on myself because of past experiences. And I hope you guys can understand that. So, thank you. Oh my god, and then the fact that people are asking me this. They're asking, is it pink? I mean, that's kind of like Camilla's thing. Just subscribe. Just there's tons of photos of it on there. Like, wide open, legs up, butt cheeks spread. Like, it's on there. Just go see. Go see. Another question I get is, will I ever collab with a fan? And the answer is probably no. Not unless I'm dating that fan for a very long time. I don't... My OF is based on solo, and I have made $30K and up every single month since I started doing just solo. So if anybody's out there and they're telling you that you can't make money on OF without collabing with people, they're lying. They're lying because I've made decent amount of money. I'm not rich, but I definitely have made a decent amount of money on there with just doing stuff with myself. No, I'm that type of girl. Oh, my hair is pissing me off. I'm the type of girl who doesn't sleep around. Like, I have to have an actual connection with the person. Like, I gotta feel it. Like, it ain't just gonna, oh, I'm in the mood, let's just go out tonight. That's just not me. Or, oh, he's hot, let me collab. No, like, you might be hot, but what's your personality like? Now, if it comes to, like, collabing on, like, TikTok and, like, Instagram, that's different. Yeah, I'll collab. That's fine. That's totally fine, but not on OF. Not unless I'm dating you or I'm married to you for a very, very long time. That's personal. I also get questions and asked if and I do. It's 100% legal here. Like, there's stores all over. I went to the store earlier today and I got a whole... I don't know if I can say that. Can I say that? Okay. I got a pack of... pre, and then I got a 28 grams of whatever that, So, I mean, like, it's 100% legal here. There's no restrictions on it except for you can't have it in the car open. You can't be driving around with it, chiefing up. You can't do none of that. But yeah, of course. Duh. Although I will say that I haven't done it in a long, long time. So, like, I'm probably just going to give hurt this whole bag. My camera audio lady. I just don't like, I only use it when I need to sleep. So like if I can't sleep, I'll take a hit and I'll go lay down. You know. My addiction is my nicotine pen, which I probably need to stop, but I've had this thing for years. Look at this. It is beat up. Oh my god. Like the symbol is even missing off of it. It is beat up. Discolored, scratched up. I guess that's a sign that I need to stop it. And since I posted that video earlier on TikTok talking about my hood, I've gotten a lot of questions about that. So let's touch bases on that. Okay. So I grew up in a city, in a bad part of the city. And I went to a lot of rough high schools and a lot of rough middle schools and a lot of rough elementary schools. I was kicked out of my first elementary school in kindergarten for hanging a boy on the fence by his underwear because he was picking on me. My second elementary school, I got into a fight in music class because a boy made fun of my singing. And I kicked him in his, you know. Let's just say I had anger issues because of the life I had at home. My mother was never there. My mother was always... She had moments. She was good, and then she was bad, and then she was really bad. And then she was good, and then she was bad. She had an addiction. And when she would get out of rehab, she would be fine. And then her friends would come around. And then it was, see ya kids. She even up and left me and went to Vegas one day. I come home from school and everything in the house is gone. And there's a letter on the table sitting right there by the front door. It said that, I love you, I will see you soon, I'm going to Vegas. Yeah. Also have some siblings that I never talk about because they have went through fucking hell. They went through hell. I'm not saying that I haven't went through hell because I'm not gonna lie, I've taken a lot of beatings for both of them. I've taken a lot of near-death experiences for the both of them. I have been thrown through walls. I've had held to my head. I've gotten pistol whipped. I've gotten kicked in the ribs. I've gotten thrown through glass. Yeah. It was rough growing up. But I don't talk about them because that's their story to tell. And it took a lot of therapy and a lot of years for me to get to where I am right now, to be able to talk about it without tearing up or freaking out or going into panic mode or blocking myself off from the world again, because that's what I used to do. But my siblings, I have a brother and I have a sister. They're both younger. I am the oldest. At the age of 10 years old, I was left with my 7-year-old sister. And I had to make things work for as long as I could. I think it was like almost a month and a half before CPS showed up at my house and was like, "Where's your mom? I haven't seen her in like a while." Well, that's when I got taken away. And my sister. And then we came back to Mama. And then my mom had another baby, and then she took off again and took him to Vegas with her and left me and my sister. So, needless to say, I stayed in contact, and I ended up getting really worried. So one day I come home from work, I went and picked up my sister from school. we're out shopping and I get this call and it's from a Vegas number. Well, this number it wasn't a number I recognized because I knew all the numbers that they were using out there. Well, I answered it and it was my brother. And he was like, we're on our way. And I was like, you're on your way? What? You're on your way? So when he ended up coming back, he was a totally different person. Like, I I had to take my mom to court. And I had to get custody of my brother because he was still underage. And he wasn't in school for about a year. And mind you, he's like 9, 10. He was not in school out in Vegas. He was skin and bones. He was so scared to come out into the light. He was all cut up. So I went and I sued my mom for custody of him. And I got custody. And it was a really rough time. Ended up going into an inpatient and eventually switching out to an outpatient. I ended up having to get a bigger house, so I went into debt. I sold the car that I had. I sold the land that I had, and I bought a house just outright. Fixed it up. And I took care of my siblings. I took care of them. I put them both through school, both through therapy. And now I'm taking care of Granny because Granny's the one who took care of me. So, okay, well, I think that's enough talking about that stuff tonight. You guys are going to have to ask me some different questions because these are kind of emotional. So go ahead and like, comment, and share. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave me some comments. Send me some questions. Let's keep this going. Don't ask me no more sad questions. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Mwah.